Okay, this is cutting it close, but here's what we're making, and we're at 99% complete. And I'll just get the spool out of the way here so you can see what's on the spool. Yeah, I think we really cut that one close, didn't we? Yeah. Hey, it's Monday, and we've got a lot of topics to cover this week, and I thought I was going to start out with this one, but we're not. We're going to go to something else. This is something I've been kind of excited to want to try, I guess you could say, and there's a lot of reasons behind it, and it's 3D printing. If you get into 3D printing and a 3D printing farm, one of the things you're going to need, especially with a farm, is to be able to support clients and customers with modeling. And you know, the best modeling out there, I still think, is Fusion 360. But if you see the subscription price, it's like, oh, wow. You know, there's just, I did the math over and over. There is no way I can afford Fusion 360 at this time. I just don't have that kind of money and income and whatever. So I looked around other ones, and I went through everything from SolidWorks and CAD and was it Onshape, Shaper 3D, just all these other different CAD softwares. The problem was they were like, you could learn them, but it was like, as soon as you saw that subscription price, it was like, I don't have the kind of money to maybe, to say offset the cost of having that subscription. Plus, I guess it was the bothersome idea that every month I would have to pay, whether I was using the software or not, but I'd have to pay that subscription fee because I have the free software, Fusion 360, and I might use it on a Saturday night into a Sunday or something to draw something up, and then I may not look at that software for a month or even more because I'm not drawing or inventing something new right now. And so this whole subscription fee thing was like, it's just out the window. A couple of years ago, a company came out called Plasticity. Yeah, I'll try to put that name there a little bit so you can see how that's spelled. It looks like plastic and city sort of had a little collision. And Plasticity was kind of questionable. It had a couple of things about it that really sort of, I guess you could say, made me question whether is this the right software to go with. And part of the problem is the Plasticity sort of pushes the idea that it's for artists that want to do CAD or something, and so it was like, no, that's not me. I need mechanical drawings that I can draw up that will, work. And I kept seeing mechanical things showing up on Plasticity, but nobody was saying, well, if you have a 3D printer and you want to design your own product, well, this is the software for you. Well, nobody's saying that, So that kind of held me back. And then about a year ago, I saw somebody jump from Fusion 360 to Plasticity. I said, he's happy, a lot happier. Even though Fusion 360 has a steep learning curve, I'm going to say Plasticity has at least about the same, if not worse. It's a very steep learning curve, but once you learn it, it's like you can work with it. If you learn the basics and you sort of build up from there, you will be slowly, integrated into it, where it's like you sort of second nature almost. A lot of shortcuts, keyboard strokes and things that I'm not used to working with, that sort of thing goes on with it, but it's still an interesting program. And the whole thing was, with Plasticity, is you buy the software one time, you buy it, that's it, and then you own it. It was like, oh, I love that idea because I am so against renting freaking software, most of us should be, So today what I wanted to do was I want to draw something up on Plasticity that will be a small, easy shape, but we'll put very specific dimensions on it. We will create an STL file with that. We'll take that STL file, put it into a slicer, probably Orca, I think. And then from Orca Slicer, we will put that on the Cobalt 2 Plus machine, I think, print it. Then we'll take the calipers and we'll start measuring that block or that square shape, whatever it is that we do, and we'll just see how good does it all come out. And I am going to look at a couple of ideas because I mentioned STL file. I might try using a step file or something like that where I get a little bit better, smoother operation from the 3D finish. But really what I'm after was to just see how accurately we go from Plasticity to a 3D print. And anyone out there that has plasticity probably knows, oh, you know, no problem or something. But I didn't really see reviews that were, you know, strong about using this software. All I saw was reviews saying, well, it's, you know, depends on what you want to do kind of thing. It was like a lot of mixed. I even saw some people saying, you know, don't waste your money. This is not for you or something. And then I saw other people saying, well, you know, if you want to draw stuff up and produce it on a 3D printer, you know, this would be a great purchase for you, and learn this and you'll be able to draw the parts up that you need for, you know, manufacturing from 3D printing. So it's really teeter-tottered back and forth in the last couple of years since it came off. And I kept looking back at it and thinking, you know, you just buy it that one time, it's yours. You know, if you can make it work or you can work with it, it's an awesome program. And there's no subscription fee, you know, yeah, it's a win-win, you know, like, so that's what I want to do today. So the first thing we're going to do is let's go to the computer, Plasticity, and draw something up basic that we can print and take a look at it and see how it's all going to come out. Yes. So I might be on a little bit of a bad angle here, but I'm in front of the computer, and this is what Plasticity is going to look like when you first open it up. It's kind of bland. You know, there's some tools over here, not a whole lot going on just yet, but I've got this marked off so that I can just hit this box and delete it and get rid of it, because that's not what I want to work with. So now I'm going to come down to my build plate, I guess we'll call it, or the design plate area. Now, because I'm at 1 millimeter scale, each of these little squares represents 1 millimeter. You know, let's see if I can center that up a little bit better. And I'm going to go to the top, because that's what I like. Again, just like Fusion 360, that's what I like to work with. And we're going to just do a box in this case, and bring it out to here. Now, I'm not going to touch my mouse or click anything. I'm going to hit my tab key and enter 20 millimeters. And whoops, and just leave that. So this is where, like I said, it's new to me, so I'm having some fun too. But there's 20 millimeter there, and we can enter that. Now, let's zoom out a little bit, because there's what we've got. And you can see there's 20 little millimeter squares here and here. So that's kind of cool. Now, the next thing I want to do is E, or, you know, extrude. And to get this, I'm going to actually lay this down on its side and pull this up like this until we hit 10 millimeters, or roughly thereabouts. We're going to hit 10 millimeter. And we're going to come over here and just say okay, because that's what we want. So now we have a block, I guess you could say, and we can look at this thing, and it's really going to throw you off a little bit, because it's going to look like, you know, it's not solid, but to tell you the truth, actually it is solid. So that's just a solid block. That's all that is, you know. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this file, and we're going to export it as an STL file or an object file. I wonder if we could do object. I don't really know. Let's see. Let's ask file. So we're going to call it the box 1.0. Whoop. This is awkward. I'm not in front of my computer screen, so yeah. Let's do a format. And we can do step file, which would be really cool. But let's just do a straight STL. That's, you know, pretty straightforward. And we're going to save that. We okay, I just imported the box, the STL file from Plasticity. And there's what it looks like. It's pretty basic, like I say. It's 20 by 20 and 10 millimeters thick. But there it is. And what we'll do now is we will simply, I guess we'll just go ahead and, I don't see any reason to do anything else, but just slice it. And we'll save it. Now, I gotta put my USB stick in here from the machine so that we can save it. Okay. And I'm going to generate the G code, which is going to be on the no name, of course. Box PLA 8 minutes. Yep. Okay, we'll save it. And then we'll run that out to the machine and print it. And then we'll take the calipers to it and just see if it's 20 by 20. It's just a good, easy, simple, stupid way of testing out a situation, I guess. Okay, I put the file on the USB, put it in, started the machine up, told it to print. So I guess in about 8 or 10 minutes we'll come back and we'll have a box sitting here, and then we'll get the calipers on it and just take a look at the whole procedure here and just see how it all comes out. Right now she's heating up, so she's getting ready to rock and roll. Just think, I'm making a cube on an Anycubic. Well, it's been 8 minutes, so let's see. Here, here we go. I got a block, nice square. Wow, pretty good square block, really. Nothing wrong with that. 0, and we'll just put the calipers on, and 20.05. That's pretty darn close. And try the other way. Okay, the other way is a little off. It's under 20. Why is it always? Every software I've ever had, it seems like it always does this. Must be something in the software. But let's try that again. And we'll bring that down so it's nice and tight. And there's 20.07. This way here, we seem to have lost a little bit. We're just under 20, and then the actual thickness was supposed to be 10. So let's see what we ended up at. 10.12 of a millimeter. Again, well within anything that I would think that I'm going to, be building or whatever. But cute. Okay, that's really basic. But the idea was, I really have never seen a video that goes from designing something to putting it on the file to putting it in the machine, printing it, and then looking at the model afterwards and seeing how accurate and how everything came out. So today I thought we would approach that and keep it real basic, real simple, stupid, but you can see it's Plasticity can do the job. So we were able to prove that we can do some fantastic design work in a program that's, you buy it, you own it, and yeah, you can slice it and then put it on a 3D printer and make it. Today was just a proof of concept that, yeah, just using a simple square, but it's accurate, and yeah, it works out. In fact, this is a pretty nice little square. There's a couple things I need to tell you about. First off, of course, not sponsored or have anything to do with Plasticity at all. Nothing, absolute zero. So, but you can get a 10% discount coupon, and I'll tell you how to do that. Is you go over to a fellow that does shows here called Pixel Fondue. I'll see if I can get a link or something down in the description below for that, and also a link, of course, to where Plasticity is, where you can find it if you're interested in buying a 3D. A CAD program that you own that you can use. Now, learning curve depends on where you start from and where you come from. If you come from like free CAD, you might find this is a huge upgrade. If you come from like where I'm coming from, like Fusion 360, it's frustrating because everything is different. You can accomplish the tasks at hand pretty much, but you're going to go through different steps, and some of those steps are going to seem like there's maybe 4 or 5 steps to get something done that maybe Fusion 360 may have only taken a couple of clicks for. But now, here's the big thing too. In the next few weeks, I'm told that Plasticity is rolling out a big new upgrade that will, improve its functions and everything. So that's exciting too, and more reason to take a serious look at it if you're shopping around, or if you're tired of paying rent every month for for a CAD software. I just looked at a couple prices this morning, and $85 a month to rent a CAD program is like, no, it just doesn't work. But owning a program for $149, and I paid with the coupon, it was $135. So owning that program within a couple of months, and technically it's paid for itself because I'm not renting from somebody to do this. Also, you can import STL files. I tried that. It works. In fact, it worked just fine. Also, you can export, as you probably saw, OBJ or STEP, and there was a couple other different files in there I can't think of, besides STL. STL is the most generalized, oldest piece of software for making 3D printed files. It is the oldest one. I think STEP is actually the newest one, I believe, and it's been around for a while too. But they work differently, and STEP is more of a vector type system where it lays the model out, and in some ways you can get like a smoother finish kind of thing, especially on like rounded corners. You won't get as quite a jaggedy edge kind of thing if you're looking at fine work and stuff. But yeah, the whole thing is that it can be done, but it's going to take a learning curve. Anyways, Looks good to me. I'll be excited over the next few weeks. If you really get into it, you can probably, yeah, in Plasticity, you could probably make yourself a 67 Camaro. and have a lot of other cool stuff. Thank you for watching Coffee and Tools. Please like, share, subscribe, ring the notice bell, and I'm out of here. Zoom, zoom, over and out.